Hello everybody. So I put a picture on earlier of a headband plait. It's one of my favourites if my fringes are feeling a little bit too long and I need to get it out of the way. Or if the weather's hot, and obviously the weather's going to be really good next week, so it might be worth you having a bit of practice of this to get it out of your face. So I'm going to start. I've just given my hair a really good brush through because I did have some hairspray off when I did it before. So make sure all your fringes in this section, but take a little bit of your longer hair as well. And I take my section behind my ear. I don't stop here because I think sometimes when you start your plait from here, it's untidy for a little bit, and then you find sort of when you do start neatening it up, you've got this untidy bit you can't really do a great lot with. So if you just take your section behind your ear a little bit, you can start your plait back here. So I'm just gonna, right. So around about, so I'm going to just clip that out of your way. Get it out of your way, you're going to find it a lot easier. So I'm just going to look in the mirror there. Same on the other side. Take it behind your ear. Right. Okay, so just brush this bit out your way for a little bit. And you're going to start back here. Now, I know when you're doing a skull plait, you add a little bit from each side. When I'm doing my headband plaits, I don't. I only add from one side, and it's the front. It's because I like my plait to lie more sort of on your pattern that you've created for yourself rather than in the middle or towards the front. Now, if your fringe is a little bit shorter, you probably would be better off adding a little bit from each side, but I'm just going to do it from one. So you take that little bit from behind your ear, separated into 3 bits. Now I'm trying to look at my phone and the mirror, so it's a bit confusing. So I like to do mine Dutch style where the plait lands on top. So I'm just gonna do that. So when it comes to adding the bit underneath there, I'm just gonna add a little bit to that, but instead of adding, you take it, sort of hard to show you. So I'm taking the full section instead of just a little bit, and adding that underneath with that bit, pulling it nice and tight. So again, when I add that bit, I'm not adding any hair to it. It's the bit that comes closest to your face that I am. So then I'm pulling that off, adding that underneath, pull that out of the way, and then when I'm taking that bit under, I'm not adding any hair, I'm just giving that a good pull. So it's the bit that comes under, closest to your face, that you're adding hair to. It is really difficult to do this one on yourself, but if you've got plenty of time, have a little practice. It's just going to put you off trimming your fringe for that little bit longer. I know we've got a long time to wait. So again, we're adding from that bit. The lighting in my house is terrible. So yeah, only adding from that bit from the front. Make sure you keep it nice and tight. I know it's easier said than done, but if you keep all them bits of hair nice and tight, you just have a cleaner plait. You can always pull it out a bit later if it's too tight. So again, when I add that bit, I don't add any hair. I only add hair when I'm using this bit that's closest to my face. So when you come to adding your fringe, you need to keep your tension, or else it's just gonna pop out and stick up, which, I mean, my fringe is quite short, so it probably will, so I'll show you what I mean. So I hope you can see that. Like I say, I'm only adding, I've took that bit underneath so it's closest to my face. Take that bit all the way back, add it, give it a good pull, add that bit but don't add any extra hair. Pull that bit under, add that whole bit. See, this is where my fringe is going to start poking out. Underneath, you see my fringe bit. Whole bit underneath. Give it a good yank. I'm not adding on that side. Underneath. Not adding on that side, that bit. So again, we're going to go behind the ear. I just think it neatens it off. You're going to put your clips in. The last thing you want to do is to be able to see them. I know I've got a lot of baby hair around the front. I don't like to put a lot of hairspray on, so... So I'm going to go... See, I've got my bits of my fringe sticking out there. I'm just going to... So I'm just going to pull a little bit from behind the ear as well. All this does is makes it sit a little bit nicer, so that when you put your clips in it's not sticking out. So then I'm just going to plait the rest of that. Just so far down, not to the ends, you don't want to see it. Then tuck it behind your ear, 2 Kirby grips. Just get that secure in place there. Now then it's completely up to you. If you feel like your plait's a little bit too tight, while you're practicing I probably would just leave it alone. Oh, I've got a hair sticking me out. That's it. Just leave it alone. But what you can do is just gently give them a little tug. But because see, this is what happens when your fringe is too short. But you can just get a little bit of hairspray and just flatten them down when you're done. That's all I did before. So you can just grab these bits and gently give them a pull, and it just makes it look thicker. I mean, my hair's really fine at the front at the minute where I've been losing a lot of hair, but you can still make it look nice and thick. A little bit of hairspray, even a bit of texturising powder, give it a little pull. Just pull that out like that. There we go. So I would spray that in place. So how many of us are still sporting our greys, honestly? Let us see your pictures. Look at mine. Don't look that bad on there, but they're really bad. I've been tempted, but I haven't. And then because you've took your plait from behind your ear, in that sort of horseshoe section there, when this drops down, it falls over them sides, so it's nice and neat. And then you can just hairspray your little bits in. You could curl that. I've even seen some people sort of play with it, pin it up, give yourself a little updo there. But really, it's just a nice one to keep out your eyes. I know a lot of you nurses, carers, key workers are working extra hard. And the last thing you need is your fringe falling in your face. So have a practice. Put a headband plait in. That can last you two days. I shouldn't say, but I sometimes get 3 out of mine if I don't want to wash it. So, I mean, have a go. Let us see your pictures. Don't forget to post them to us or send us a message. I'd like to see them. See you later.